Good morning. Welcome to the Dr. Pepper Ultimate Access pregame show for day 2 here at MLG Spring Championships. I'm DJ Wheat.
And I'm Mr. Bitter, and it is a pleasure to be in the house tonight, kicking off day number 2. So many great games took place yesterday,
Yeah.
Wheat, and we've got many more huge games ahead of us.
Yeah, we got an exciting first game. We're going to talk about that in just a moment. But, for anyone who is, kind of followed along yesterday or maybe needs a quick catch-up, we're going to go through the pools, kind of explain the status of where we're at, and then we'll talk a little bit about the open bracket and what we're going to be seeing this morning. Let's kick things off with Pool A, and this one certainly didn't go the way that many of us thought yesterday during our Dr. Pepper Ultimate Access pregame show on day 1. Violet going 1-2, Inori 2-1, Leenock tying with him 2-1, and Ryung tying with Violet 1-2. We still don't know the 2 open bracket players that are going to be inserted into Pool A, but that will happen soon. We've also got, of course, Tastelin Artosis over on the analysis desk. Guys, Pool A didn't quite turn out the way some thought.
Yeah, nobody really completely dominating there. No 3-0s. Interested to see Violet's results there.
Yeah,
but
man.
Leenock really kicking some ass.
DJ Wheat was dead wrong about Violet just wrecking that group, I have
hate
to
you,
say.
Artosis.
I'm so shocked, man. I can't believe this. Wow.
I can't believe that. It's kind of wild because, Violet only beat Leenock, who's actually winning the group. It's kind of weird, and that was a really, really close match, too.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be interesting when we see who the people are from the open bracket because since nobody went 3-0 or 0-3 there, it's still really hard to tell who's actually going to get out now.
I'm surprised as well by Inori. I mean, I guess you kind of get that right, Marcus. He did very well against Violet, and then he beat Ryung, which isn't a big surprise because that's really Ryung's weakness.
Right.
If a lot more Protosses get into that group, then Ryung is young.
Mr. Bitter, what do you think before we jump into Pool B? Pool A thoughts?
Oh, well, the most important thing is that it's still not decided yet. 2 more players going to join
Right.
up from the open bracket. Violet, he still has more chances to win, more chances to get ahead. I'm really happy to see Leenock playing well. He blew me away last year at the MLGs, and I'm stoked to see what he does here throughout the rest of this tournament. Pool B is up next.
Yeah, let's take a look at Pool B. And you made a great point, Mr. Bitter. We should reiterate that, is that even with the results of what happens in Pool B, no one can get eliminated from a championship pool. It just means that if you don't perform as well, you're seeding into the championship bracket. It's a little bit, you just fall further back. You have to fight even more. So here we go, Pool B. Symbol going 1-2, I think, is a surprise to many. But, I mean, when you look at this, 3-way tie for 1-2, and then Marine King going 3-0, pretty crazy.
Well, if I look at this, the way that this pool played out, I'm not that surprised. Marine King, in my opinion, is the strongest player in the group. The other guys are all very close. Grubby has been doing phenomenally in every event he's been playing in recently. His level is just rising and rising and rising, and he's showing great games here at this MLG. It doesn't surprise me that much that Marine King stands above the rest, and there's a lot of fighting amongst those other guys.
Well, we did have, of course, Symbol defeating Marine King not too long ago in a 3-0 himself. But, guys, what do you think about these results? I know that you have also been talking about Symbol and his runs as of late.
Yeah, what's really surprising here, though, is Grubby. Grubby is actually in second in the group as far as the actual score goes. He's 4-4, which means he 2-0'd Dream and took a game off Symbol and Marine King. That's actually completely stellar. I can't believe it. Grubby is doing so well.
Right.
Yeah, with Marine King, it's so funny because, last year he was the guy who always gets second place, and I think a lot of us sort of wrote him off. And then now, he's become a champion multiple times. And I guess it just proves that he's somebody who's going to be around for a long period of time. I kind of feel like he's becoming, the Nada of StarCraft 2.
Yeah,
Very consistent results. He's never off the map.
And everyone loves him.
Yeah.
And he's handsome.
Yeah.
Just like Nada.
I want to ask you guys an additional question. We've seen Marine King kind of play with different styles. He started out, he was the Marine King, right? Got the name for a reason. We saw him sort of flirt with some early aggression builds, which, of course, he was no stranger to, even into mech. But primarily this tournament, it seems like his focus has been just the super bio play.
Yeah, he's kind of fallen back to that style that made him famous. Just controlling his units very, very well. The games he played against Symbol were awesome. Some of the best TVZ I've seen in recent memory. And he did it by just outplaying his opponent. It was
Right.
cool to see.
What do you guys think about that? I mean, Marine King sort of falling back on what made him famous or put him on the map.
I think that's really smart for pool play, because pool play, you're just kind of grind it out. You have a lot of games going on, so to just use like base skills and do as best you can is very smart. Whereas if he has some really special strategies for the tournament, he wants to save that for the end when he's facing someone like DRG in the finals
Right.
for like the 12th time.
Yeah, I agree, absolutely. Marine King started out with that Marine style early on, but that was also when the game was very old, and he did actually switch over to a whole bunch of other different styles, but honestly, he is the best when it comes to unit control, to be completely frank.
Pretty much.
All right, well, guys, let's take a look at Pool C. And what's interesting about this one is most players win and then go to Disneyland. Stefano went to Disneyland before the event, and look at him, 3-0. He defeated Polt in the opening game. And then the other story here is that Gonzi, who has just been so consistent, looks like he was just going to explode onto the scene. And as of the last 2 months, has just not been performing up to par. He is 0-3 in his group. Mr. Bitter, what do you think about this one?
Well, this is also the only group with a real clear hierarchy in it. Stefano continuing to maintain that image of being the best foreigner on the planet. Alicia has been steadily improving and getting better and better, and he's becoming one of the premier Protoss players in Korea. Polt has been on everybody's radar for a while now.
Right.
And Gonzi, he was poised to burst into the scene, but then, he's been kind of falling off. And, he's still a great player, and he's showing us good games, but he's just lacking something right now, and I'm not sure what that is.
Well, Tasteless and Artosis, is it crazy to think that Stefano lost his first game, the first game of the tournament, but then did not lose a game after that?
Look, I think Stefano has so much potential right now. I talked to you about this actually a lot when we're not casting, but Stefano really reminds me a lot of, and this is something you probably would remember too, Marcus, is Elke. One of the only non-Korean dominant forces. Elke, of course, from StarCraft 1, now a poker pro, but he's got the same attitude, actually a very similar personality as well, but I think this is somebody who really can challenge the Koreans and quite possibly become a champion.
Yeah, quite clearly. I mean, he's just killing it here. But, to look at the other players in the group, Alicia takes out both Terrans, and that's always really been his strong matchup. So I'm not, completely surprised that happened, even though Polt is so good at that matchup as well. But Ganji is the one that I really want to focus on here. I'm actually becoming very sad because you can see the frustration in this guy's eyes, because he's been one of the top Terrans in the world for quite a while, and he keeps getting close. He qualifies for everything. He's always getting into pool play. He's always doing really well, but he just can't seem to close it. And it's almost like you can see that in his eyes when he loses. He's just like, oh my God, is this ever going to happen? Am I ever going to get a championship?
Well, it's interesting because Gonzi was one of those up-and-coming Terrans, but again, he's never really been top tier. And it's too bad because unlike somebody like Marine King, for instance, where, he was one of the best, but you never really thought of him as a champion, second place, or somebody who gets deep, somebody who takes out heavy hitters. But, Gonzi just not really producing the results that I think a lot of people expected to see here.
All right, well, let's check out Pool D now as we come to the last one. And, Artosis, I'm going to immediately give you some credit. We had this conversation when Hart originally did well in the MLG, and you said, hey, Hart's good, but when players figure out his style, he's not going to be able to perform as well. And that is evident here as his results in Group D, Pool D, do show him at 0-3. But to think that MC and DRG also at 2-1, DRG ahead of the group, and Sake holding his own as well, 2-1. He did end up defeating DRG earlier on after DRG pretty much walked over MC and Hart. What do you guys think about this one?
Well, Hart, he sometimes cheeses too much, He does a lot of one-base type stuff, a lot of trickery, and he does it so well. But, I think these players really prepared for this group. It is pool play, so they knew a long time in advance that they'd be playing against him. Of course, they've hit him in the arenas and whatnot as well. So I'm not too surprised to see him in the back here, but Sake is playing so well. He's the one that took the match off DRG as far as I know.
Yep, that's correct.
Yep.
That's pretty wild, man.
It's pretty exciting. I really hope Sake can get far in this tournament. Obviously the Koreans overall are the best. They're the most dominant. There's no question. There's no debate about that. But I would love to see some more foreign presence in these international events. Some foreigners.
Yeah,
kicking
and
more
actually,
ass.
if you look at the group play so far, I mean, Sake is in kind of a three-way tie. He has the worst game score out of it, but still he's in a three-way tie there. Stefano has the best record of anyone in pool play, and Grubby, as far as games go, is in second place in his group. So, I mean, this is really an impressive run by these 3 Europeans.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, there's a very high chance that we're going to have, one of these guys get very deep in the tournament.
Oh, yeah.
And it doesn't have to be this way, but wouldn't it be nice if we had, a Korean versus a non-Korean in the finals?
That would be
pretty cool.
All right, guys, let's really quickly go over some of the open bracket stuff that's going on right now. Of course, this was the first MLG where many of you could follow the open bracket progress as it progressed. And here we have some interesting statistics. So far of the 8-round 5 matches to make it into groups, 7 of those matches will feature a Korean against a non-Korean. It just sort of played out that way. We've got Oz taking on Bling, Sleep versus Sase, Alive versus Huck, Rhett versus Puma, and then the undecided ones, or to be determined, Clyde versus Illusion or Thorzane, which is the match that we're going to be casting first, Mr. Bitter, JYP versus Idra and former teammate Axlav, and then Golden versus Select or Suppy.
Yeah, foreign players doing very well here in the open bracket. They've kind of stuck around for a long time. There's also a very good chance that Fitzy here is going to run into Rain in that final, I guess, open bracket decider to see who's going to move on into groups. So we're going to go ahead and show you guys the schedule for today so we can have a good look at how the streams are going to be playing out. We've got open rounds 4 and 5 up here on the red stream first, and then we're going to have some time with Dustin Browder, the man himself.
Yep, talking probably a little bit about Heart of Swarm, StarCraft 2, and all sorts of good stuff. Then we'll have the 2 winners semifinals, 1 and 2 back-to-back before the MLG Kespa Invitational. The pregame show will kick off at 8:30, and then the matches will be underway at 9. We'll have 2 streams, possibly more, showing the matches from that competition, and I'm all excited.
It's what I'm here for. And I was just watching Twitter. Apparently, the Brood War pros are playing Heart of the Swarm right now.
They are.
And Stork floated a factory into Flash's main, built some of the mines, and buried them in his worker line.
Nice, look at that. All right, guys, Tasteless and Artosis, any final comments about that MLG Kespa Invitational before we kick it off to game number 1?
Well, I'm completely pumped. It's going to be
my
so
God.
awesome. What a treat.
I can't wait to see, is Solky actually going to take it? He's actually who we've been really talking about.
Yeah.
Is he the best pro from Brood War at StarCraft 2 right now? A lot of people seem to think so. And, I can't wait to see how he's playing. And actually, Stork is the other one I'm really looking at.
It was Solky maybe being the best Brood War pro right now. That's interesting because he's going to be the last best Brood War pro because these guys are now switching over to StarCraft 2. This is a huge moment in esports history, and I think I could speak for you as well, Artosis, where I'm just so amped to be part of this.
Excellent. Well, guys, we're going to be kicking off our first matchup very shortly. It's going to be Illusion versus Thorzane. So get your predictions in, get your fantasy picks made. I want to give a special shout out to Slasher, who chose MMA to come in 3rd place, who's not even here. Well done, Slasher. We'll be back with more of the Spring Championship, our first matchup, Illusion versus Thorzane, after this. Don't go away.